Jack, welcome. Adam Treloar, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good, Adam.
What do you know about Marlon Pickett?
Well, not a lot. I know that he's had a bit of an indifferent sort of start to his life, but I had a chat to someone from South Freo, a mate that knows a few blokes at South Freo, and apparently he's the most loved player down there. So we are, we're really excited to be welcoming him into the fold. I know he's got 4 kids. So 27. It's great to. I think the mid-season draft is a fantastic idea, and it's great to see guys that may have been on the AFL scrap heap get their chance at AFL.
More than a scrap heap. He was sitting in jail, now he's playing AFL. We have got a great sport. We give opportunities to young men and young women who have been challenged, and they get through them. It's a great story.
Yep. What does it tell us about the strength of Richmond's culture? And both the men's and women's side of things with these stories over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, I think it says that we are a club of opportunity at all levels, and we are a strong club that's willing to look past people's maybe failings in the past. We feel at a senior men's level that we've got a great culture that we can bring in people that are looking for that second chance, and no doubt Marlon's going to be hampered a little bit because he's got a fractured finger, unfortunately, which he did on the weekend, and I think a lot of people thought they might have dashed his chances. But the guys that get those second chances, or the people that get those second chances, tend to be the ones that grab them and they bring something. So I'm really excited to get him down to the club. I think he's going to be there maybe Thursday, and to see what he brings. His highlights package is certainly one that's pretty exciting.
You've been on the show for how long now? 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years, I think, yep.
When you got an exclusive and we pay you, can you maybe deliver it to our desk?
What are you talking about?
Instead of going on your new podcast with Scotty.
Balls and Bumpers with Scotty McLaughlin.
What's it called? Bumper Bars and Footballs.
I thought that was a part of reporting to listen to that sort of stuff. To get
when
the
did
scoops.
It come out?
What was it? Maybe it was a Friday before Winton on the weekend, which Scott won both the races.
He did. We had him on last week, actually.
I know, he's a part of the AFL family, AFL 360 family.
So you said on Bumper Bars and Footballs?
Yep.
What did you say on it? That you're not coming back on?
I was asked by the host if I would play Maddie's match, round 15, which is the first game off the bye, which initially was probably where I'd set my sights at playing, and I won't play that game. And then from there on, it's sort of wherever it is.
So the injury we thought was going to be 8 weeks. So it's going to be at the very least 10?
Oh, I don't know. It was reported that it was going to be 6 to 8, but like with these PCL injuries, it can be a bit of a guessing game, I suppose. Just I went down a different thought process than say Daniel Wells, who's done his. He wore a brace for. He's going to wear a brace, I think, Adam, if that's correct. And mine was a bit of I'll rest it. Continue to keep the strength in my quads, which is the thing that will waste away when you do wear a brace, and go down that path. So started jogging back on the gravity treadmill, the older G, which is a big step for me. So I did that yesterday.
What was it feeling? Weak? Pain? When you start running again, what's the feeling?
It's just whenever. What am I feeling? I'm feeling good at the moment. Yeah, so I felt really good. It's probably the best I've felt for a good 5 weeks since I injured
stiffness,
it.
No give, no wrenching.
No. So and then it's sort of just getting my body fit again too. With these long-term injuries, the complications obviously with the knee, but then I've got to make sure that the rest of my body, my hamstrings, my quads, my calves are all conditioned to play AFL footy. So it's just a little bit of a slow build-in and a precautionary one for me as well.
It's such a great pleasure to watch Daniel Wells play on Friday night. It was just so good to see him out there. I don't think there's any person in Australia were frowning. It was magnificent to watch, and then he got the injury.
I think you forget how classy he was, and how he probably arguably is the best user of the footy when he has the ball in his hands. We're shattered for him. We're absolutely shattered for him. He was flying. I think he kicked 3 goals up at that stage.
He was the most influential player on the ground.
He was involved. He was involved in all our scores. He's a much-loved man at our footy club. Indigenous round 2, obviously Trav Varco wasn't out there, so it was a special moment for Wellsy too. So he was definitely in the back of our minds going into that last
What was it
quarter.
like post game? Has it been addressed this week at all, Wellesley?
Oh no, not really. We've sort of known. I think he sort of knew. He knows his body really well. He's been around for a long time, so he sort of knew that he's obviously hurt his knee. He actually said the PCL, so he's pretty smart with his body. And like Jack said, he's gone down the same route that Jack's doing. He's going to obviously avoid the surgery and try and get back and have an impact for us later on in the year.
Travis Varco stayed close to the group, so he was suspended. He missed the game where the jumper meant so much to him and his family. How did you keep him involved in it?
Yeah, well, he was obviously there for us. He flew up with us, brought his beautiful partner Kim up and his kids. So, yeah, it was a shame that I wish they could have just moved it to this week where he missed the game and could play last week. I know you can't do that, but the inspiration behind the actual design on the jersey was about him and his sister that unfortunately passed away late last year. So it was a beautiful design. We take pride in being able to represent people and represent him and Wellesley, firstly for Indigenous round and then obviously for the jumper we got to wear. It's something that I'm definitely going to hang up for when I'm retired and be proud to look back on and know that I got to play in that game.
Would there be any thought from the Collingwood guys to maybe wear the jumper this week?
I think we are. I think
that's a great idea.
I know.
Great leadership from you, Jack.
I know. I'll go tell them.
Just get Pendles on the phone.
Yeah. I know last year we wore it 2 weeks in a row. Or it might have been the year before. So Travis going to have an opportunity to wear it this week, presuming he gets picked, which I'm sure he will.
Enough about them. You're the most prolific player in the comp from arc to arc. You are just patrolling that area, averaging 28. Is this the form of your career you think this year? Is this the most consistent, elite performing you've done in your career?
Yeah, well, it's nice that we're 8-2 or whatever we are. So if we weren't winning, I probably wouldn't say. But the most important thing for me, and it's the old cliche, you're probably not going to want to hear it, but it's...
Tell us and we'll tell you if we like it.
It's knowing that I'm going week in, week out, playing my role, playing what I have to do.
Your role is to win a lot of the ball.
Well,
now, that's easier said than done.
It is, but defensively I've got to work back really hard. I've got to get back and help my defenders out. I've got to make sure I can...
Was that a fair criticism of... I've never asked
early
you
days,
this.
early days.
Everyone used to say, look at Treloar. He's running that way with the pill and he looks great. And everyone was critical of him running back.
Well and truly early days, I think, like most young players,
have you been tagged
young midfielders. No, I'm lucky enough I get to play with Pendles, Steele, Beamsy.
It's handy, isn't it?
Oh, very handy.
So I'm lucky. I think Steele got tagged on the weekend by Ryan Clark. So
who told you? Was it Bucks? He came down heavy on you about your two-way running?
It was definitely Bucks, Banger. And Burnsy too. Scotty Burns is at the Hawks now. They were the three who transitioned from the Giants to Collingwood. Nothing against the Giants. I was young. I was I suppose immature in a footy sense. I just wanted the ball in my hands, and you got to find that balance. If you want to be a part of a successful club, you look at all the really good teams. They have a great balance offensively and defensively. And I spoke about that a couple of weeks ago about having good teams are good offensively, good defensively. Yep. Exactly the same as individuals. So I pride myself on working back as hard as I do defensively as I do on offence.
So you got to the fitness levels for the midfielders to be able to do that. It's just got to be extreme. And your mind's got to go.
Well, you got to have
quick.
smarts. That's the thing, Robert. Yeah. You can't get back blindly and not know what you're doing. I think that was a little bit of a difference now to, say, 3 or 4 years ago. I'd think that I'm working back. I'd think that I'm helping my defenders. I'd think I'm getting back, but looking back on the tape, and in reality I wasn't. I was sort of just watching the ball. You were
walking in that direction and just...
tracking.
Got to get back there to go forward again.
And saying to the coaches, what do you mean? I'm walking back. But
that's a sign of a maturing team. I mean, when the Tigers to go from your level to win the premiership in 2017, you've got the talent there, but you've got to get all this defensive structure. Is there, can I ask you both a question? There's more strategy in defence than there is in offence, isn't there? Or not?
I think there probably is.
And the good teams...
Actually, you know what? I think there's more focus on intent in defence. Intent of players. Like, you know, when coaches say off a loss will say, oh, we didn't look like we had the great intent tonight. I reckon that's when you look at your defence. And tackling's probably the one thing that you go... Did we really tackle the way we want to tackle, or did we really defend the way we want? Forward movement probably is a bit more natural.
Yep.
And defence is that intent and structure.
Yeah, I also think that offensively, a lot of the time, talent sort of takes over in a way.
Absolutely.
You can coach offense and coach how you want to kick it and whatnot, but I mean, we're brought up. You know, we're not brought up running defensively as 9, 10, 11-year-olds.
Where were you drafted?
Where was I?
Number?
Oh, no, I was pre-listed to the Giants, so I wasn't in the draft.
Right.
Not many taggers get picked up out of under 18 level, Robbo. There might be a shift soon, but especially with the way that Matt de Boer's going. So,
All Australian, yes or no, right now?
Oh, definitely, well and truly.
Adam, yeah, he's probably in. I think.
No, not for me. No, for Matty de Boer, no.
I think we might have tipped into that. The dynamic of Friday night. Does it get affected by the coach change in the opposition?
Well, not for us. It doesn't. I'm not sure whether North Melbourne will try and change something. I assume bringing a new coach in, Reece Shaw would like to have his input into it. But yeah, it's a different dimension. I went through something similar in 2009 with Terry Wallace when he left. And I can remember thinking how important the leaders were, because as a young person, I was 21 at that time, and you get caught up in the emotion of a senior figure leaving a football club. So, yeah, they played a really good brand of footy on the weekend, and they're a tough side. So we know that we've certainly got certainly looking for them to play pretty well on Friday night, so we know that we'll need to play well too.
Just very quickly, Jared, did you see the Dreamtime at the G game?
I watched a bit of it.
What did you think of Sydney Stack at the start of the game?
Loved it. Commented on the Insta story with a love heart saying this is the best thing.
Did you really?
Yeah, best thing that I've seen.
And it happened at
in a long
VFL
time.
level too. We had a young kid called Derek Igmalesi-Smith, who's a young Indigenous man from Mildura. Yeah. He got the opportunity to do it, and he doesn't have as much just go about him as Sydney does.
The thing is, did you guys know that was going to happen? Or was it just out of the blue?
Oh, I think so. I was sitting in the coach's box, and there was just an absolute roar when he went through and had a go at it.
I got chills. I thought, how good's this?
Me too.
Like when Adam Goods did it, half the world come down on him. How dare you do this? How far we've come. Sydney Stack on Indigenous. It was just so powerful.
Yeah, he's a great young kid. He's takes a lot of courage to do that.
Awesome.
But
it does take courage to do that, but it takes pride.
And a bit of spunk too as well, which he's got plenty of. Don't worry about that.
He's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, he runs defensively, doesn't he?
Got a Rascal to finish.
Oh, Rascal. Well, I won't Rascal Stacky for that because I liked it too much. But one thing, this one actually cuts me deep because it heads down to Team Rampage, Robbo. And a player at Team Rampage, Bailey Fritsch. I caught this one at the Melbourne game on the weekend. Now, the chairs are there for sitting, so Bailey's sitting there with a few teammates on 1, 2, let's say 5 chairs.
Yep.
Jaden Hunt, Oscar Baker, and Clayton Oliver there, not sitting on a chair because Bailey's taken all 5.
Yes.
All 5 of them.
Come on.
You've got to know what you're looking
Come on,
at.
I didn't know
Bailey.
what I was looking at
Right
there.
to his head.
That goes against team values of Team Rampage. What's he doing?
Good Rascal to finish. Great to see you both.
Thank you.
Good luck on the weekend. Good luck with your recovery.